Well, Patricia, thank you so much for being here with me on the Entrepreneurial Success Podcast. As I mentioned just before we started hitting record button, is I've never had anybody from the beauty industry here on the podcast before. So I love the idea that you're here. And I know you've got some great information you're going to share with the audience today. So for everybody out there who is in the beauty industry, who's either thinking about starting a business in that kind of niche, or you already have a business in that niche, oh my gosh, you are going to love today's episode. However, Patricia, why don't I hand over to you so you can introduce yourself a little bit to the audience and tell us what you do?
So my name is Patricia Nowakowski. I have been in the beauty industry for over 20 years. I started off as everyone else who starts off in the beauty industry as just your regular hairstylist. And I had a vision for what I really wanted for my career and what I wanted for my guest experience, and what I wanted for hairstylists in our industry. So my career has evolved into salon owner, salon suite owner. I have online education for hairstylists, and I actually have an online education company for extensions. So it's great. I love the industry. It's such a beautiful industry. It's a great industry to get into if you want to be an entrepreneur, because there's so many options to develop that part of your business. And I just think it's just an amazing industry.
I know. And I love what you're sharing as well, because I think a lot of people still have the mindset that when it comes to the beauty industry, it is a bricks and mortar business. But there's so many other options, just like you said, and just with your examples that you've given, so many things that you've done now online with your business. And I'm excited to share some of this as well with the audience, because in the beauty industry, it doesn't just have to be a big bricks and mortar business. There's so much more you can do. But what I want to know from you is your story a little bit. What made you decide to go into the beauty industry, and how did that kind of evolve and take you to where you are now?
So I wanted to do something artistic with my life. I love arts. I just was so drawn to being creative. And when I finished high school, I was either going to be a high school art teacher or I was going to go to beauty school. And I just didn't really like college. It wasn't for me. I just didn't have the passion and drive for it. And I decided that I was going to go to beauty school against pretty much my parents' wishes, because I think it's such there's like a stigma around it. Mm-hmm. So I dropped out of college. I had to pay the leftover tuition for my school, and then I had to come up with money for beauty school. So I worked 3 jobs. I put myself through beauty school. And when I finished beauty school, I started my career at a normal large commission salon, and I worked there for 10 years. And it was a very great place to start. But after I had been there for 10 years, I just saw that there was so much limitation to where I wanted to take my career. And I just had so much drive and so much passion. And I had so much vision for what I wanted for myself, my business, and for my clients. And I knew that where I was, that the environment for stylists in itself wasn't healthy. It was more of a toxic environment. And I wanted to create something different for hairstylists where women could provide an income where they can actually take care of themselves. My mom was a single mom pretty much, and I saw her struggle. And I was like, you know what, I want to create a very, just a very healthy environment where women can thrive and they could provide an amazing income for themselves. Yeah. So that's what I did. Yeah.
Oh, and I love it.
Yeah, that just evolved into so many other things, because I have an addiction to growth, and I just have an addiction to just trying new things. Mm-hmm. So that evolved into adding on to my business with salon suites. That evolved into education, because education changed my career completely. It really did change my career, investing in myself and my business. And now I do coaching too. So, I mean, there's so many different facets, and that's why I love the beauty industry for being an entrepreneur, because there's so many options. It's amazing, and there's so much freedom.
Yeah. And I love that. I love your story as well. It's so heartwarming to hear that regardless of what everybody else said, you followed your heart, and look where that's taken you. When you're so passionate about something, and particularly for those in the audience who are in the beauty industry, I mean, You're there either because you were forced in a direction, which I'm hoping is not the case, or you made a decision and say, this is a passion of mine, this is where I want to go. But also, it's, I think what Patricia is sharing here is not just about starting something and just having it there. It's about the growth and about seeing these opportunities. And just like Patricia, she's had amazing opportunities coming her way. And I've got no doubt she's got so many more in the pipeline coming towards her. But it's about taking advantage of these opportunities and thinking big and thinking about what it is that you can do, especially when it comes to the online world. There's so much. Now, this kind of leads beautifully into what you want to share here with us today. Is about when it comes to the business, when it comes to, let's say, the beauty business as a salon or as a business owner in the beauty industry, what is one of the most important things that you think everybody needs to know here today?
I think mindset is the most important part of growing your business. And I think having systems in place is also very important, and being able to critically think. Those are the three most important things for a thriving business.
I know. And I want to talk a little bit about the systems today, because I think this is something that's really important. Mindset is one thing. I mean, we could just have a separate podcast episode about that in particular. But let's talk about the systems here, because I think for every business owner, you know, as a strategic business coach, it's so important to have a system, to have that kind of thing set up that is helping you with your business. We all need a system. From your point of view, why are systems so important, and why do you feel they've been so important for you?
There are so many reasons why systems are important. One, systems are important because it allows your business to rely on the systems and not rely on people. So when people are ready to move on from your business, then you have a system in place that can easily replace the person that just left, because you have a plan that is spread out and ready to go that they just need to follow. Also, systems, they keep your business from creating, or it keeps it from having problems arise, because there's always a plan for something that could happen. So if you have a system in place for anything that can arise, if you have a system for, customer service, if you have a system for, employee onboarding, if you have a system for how to deal with a difficult customer, these are all things that need systems so that they are handled properly, so that there is a consistent client experience and a consistent employee experience.
Yes, and I love how you differentiate between the two as well, because so many people would just think, oh, a business system, what is it that I need? It's like, well, actually, you just said it beautifully. There's a client-based system and there's an employee-based system, and each one is different, but they need to be those two systems, because let's face it, when it comes to a business, it is about the employees or the people that work with you, but it's also about the clients. So you do need to think about those two aspects. So from your kind of experience, we're saying the word systems here, and you just gave a couple of examples, but from your experience, what type of systems is important, and what have you used yourself?
So for me in my business, I love freedom. So I think a lot of salon owners try to wear all of the hats, and that means they do every single thing inside of their business. So some of the systems that I put into place and that I help my salon owner students actually put into place for their business is systems for new hires. So that is the onboarding process, step by step, and it's automated with videos and worksheets. So the owner isn't taking all of the time onboarding and training all of the people. It allows the salon owner freedom, and it takes some of the pressure off of the salon owner, and it puts some personal responsibility onto the actual employee, and it'll show you their true desire to work for your business and where their work ethic is. Another place that we have systems, and it's really important, is the client experience from start to finish. What does that look like? What does the pre-appointment look like? What does the greeting look like? What does the consultation look like? The consultation is its own entire system alone. That also looks like the checking out process. And each service inside of my business has a system. What does the highlighting service look like? What does the haircut look like? Every single thing has a plan. And when you have a plan for everything, it really does, like I said, create a consistent experience. And it allows my stylist to have more confidence in what they're doing because they have direction and they have knowledge on what expectations are. And they have a blueprint of how to create an amazing experience for their client. And it takes some of the pressure off of them creating something for themselves or going through the trial and error of messing things up all the time. We have a system in place because we know it works, and they just have to implement it and they're good to go.
Oh my gosh, it's like a cookie cutter recipe almost. It's perfect. And I love what you're saying. Within a system, there are smaller systems, like subcategories almost. Because yes, everything, it's all about, when it comes to the employers, it's all about giving them that confidence. And I love your onboarding system, having new employees come in, but then giving them the training, and they've got to commit to it and they've got to see it through themselves. And, coming from a corporate world, I used to do so much training for new employees coming in, up to a point where I was exhausted. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to start this whole process again next week because another person is starting next week. And it is exhausting. So from a business perspective and a business owner's perspective, that is a lot of time freedom right there. But it makes so much sense. And I think this is where the online facilities are so powerful, because like you said, you create that online training whereby the employee can go and sit and do the training themselves. But equally, it shows their commitment to be a good employee for you and for the business and wanting to work with you. So I just love the concept and how you kind of took that separately and made it into a system. But then equally, taking online platforms and online systems to make the client's kind of journey very good. The booking system, the whole process of what they're going to go through, the welcoming system, all of that, it is things that I've never thought about. And I'm not in the brick and mortar industry, but it makes so much sense. So next time when I go into a hair salon, I'm going to go and check and see, do they have these systems in place? And maybe they need to go and talk to Patricia.
I think a lot of companies just kind of like go with the flow, and that creates inconsistent results. And there's nothing worse than going to, for example, like I'll just say like going to get your coffee, and like you have coffee one day and it's like so amazing and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to go and get that coffee again. And then you go the next day and it tastes completely different. Like it's the same thing with hair. When you go and get your hair done and you're like, oh my gosh, that was the best service ever. I love my hair. I had so much fun. It was like so amazing. And then you go the next time and it's not that great. So when you have systems in place, it allows you to really create an amazing result every single time.
Yes.
And it also allows you to troubleshoot. When you have a step-by-step system, you can break things down easily that aren't working and pick things out of your system. You're like, well, this part of this thing isn't working, so let's pull that out. So it allows you to identify problems more easily as well.
Yeah, exactly. And what I love what you said here is, the one good thing about systems is they eliminate stress. So it's things that you don't constantly have to think about and remind people of, especially when I say people, the employees that you have, because they are adhering to the system and the system is running. So you as an owner, stress-free. But at the same time, it builds your confidence, it builds your employees' confidence. And like you said, the clients are getting the results time and time again, because unfortunately, it just takes that one time for them not getting the right result or not getting the service that they used to, where they sometimes go like, well, that's ruined. I might not never ever come back again. And you've lost the client. So rely on these systems in order to help you to have a smooth transfer from one entity to the next.
Yeah. And I also love too, like for independent stylists who are thinking about, creating their own salon suite, which that is huge in the States. They are very overwhelmed with all of the things that they have to do. They are like a one man or one woman show. And when they implement their own systems, it really does take a lot of the brunt work off of them. So it really is useful for any facet of the industry, even the education portion. My online education class is all systems. Like everything is set up so it's just easy breezy, like step 1, step 2, step 3, and it runs smoothly. I think When you're able to break things down step by step and you're able to kind of refine everything, magic happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And this is what I love talking about, because once you have things broken down, your focus is so much better as well, because now you can just focus on one thing at a time. Again, eliminating that stress that you mentioned earlier
Overwhelm.
on. Yes, that overwhelm. Oh my goodness. So from your experience, for people who are, or business owners who are in the beauty industry, what are some of the top tips that you can give to them about working in their business and growing their business?
So some of the tips that I would say is, one, start seeing where you can automate your business. If you own a salon and you are overwhelmed and you want some freedom inside of your business, what can you turn into a video? What can you turn into a system? What can you put on an online platform to take the work off of you? And two, hire people. People are so afraid to invest in help. Hire somebody to do it for you. If you don't know how to work technology, if you're not familiar with online, programs or platforms, there are so many people out there that can do it for you. And it's seriously like a game changer for your business.
Yeah.
And it will take them half the amount of time than if you were to do it yourself. So hire people when you need people.
Yeah. Oh, and I hands up for that one. Honestly, in the beginning, I didn't want to get help because I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm not in a point now to invest in that. And then I got my first VA just to help me out. And I completely got addicted to just handing stuff over. And now I've got like 3 different VAs for 3 different things. And I'm still looking for, where's the next one going to come from? What else can I hand over?
More stuff.
I have more stuff to get rid of.
I have more stuff.
I love it. I love it. And it's so true. Once you just have that help, that first bit of help, you're going to see it's such a game changer, but you've got to make a decision. So I love that you're sharing that. The last question I have for you is again, from your experience, what is the one thing you would say to salon owners or people who are in the beauty industry? What is the one thing that they need to focus on when it comes to client attraction?
Mindset is everything. And focusing on your own behavior and your own reactivity. That's really it. Mindset is everything.
Yeah.
If you do not have a mindset coach for yourself and your business, you should invest in one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And multiple streams of revenue. Start an online course, have classes, have your services, multiple streams of revenue, especially after everything that we went through in the last 2 years. Having multiple streams of revenue is so important, especially for salon owners.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because I think you guys got hit very hard as well. And in particular for those people in the travel industry as well. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. Mindset and multiple streams of income. That's the way to go. And this is just a start. This is part of growth, but you've got to do it. You've got to put that all in place, including the systems, which we've just beautifully spoken about. Oh my gosh, Patricia, this is just so lovely. And I'm so glad that you came on to talk about this. But before we go, you've got an amazing freebie for the audience. And I think people are just going to want to grab onto this. But why don't I hand it to you so you can share what it is?
Yes. So social media is so important for growing your business. No matter what business you're in, you must be doing something to promote it. And social media is free. It's the best marketing you can do for your business. So we have 7 days of engaging stories for you. It's just a PDF to download and you can follow along and you can watch your engagement grow. And it is something that I am so passionate about. So I can't wait for everyone to give it a try. And I hope everyone finds it useful and they love it.
Amazing. Well, I'm definitely going to have a look at it because, hey, who doesn't want some more engagement and growth on social media? So thank you so much for making that available. So for those of you listening, the link for that freebie will be below in my show notes. And then also what you can do is you can go and connect with Patricia via Instagram. And I've also got her website details below in the show notes. So by all means, go and stalk her and check her out what she's doing. And if you would like to get in contact with her, I'm sure she'd love to have a good chat with you as well. And in particular, if you need some advice or if you need to see what it is that she's done so you can think about what you need to do with your business to have that multiple streams of income, and to grow, because there are limitless opportunities out there. Okay, I mean, Patricia's here with so much experience, and I'm sure with all of her experience she can easily help and guide you as well if you want to get to where she is. Patricia, thank you so much again for sharing everything here with us. And I think people are just going to come to you now like crazy, going, what is it that you're doing? We need to do the same.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, you're very welcome. Thank you so much for coming on board, and we'll be in touch very soon.